We have a ridiculous amount of subscribers already, which is really freaking awesome. Hey girls, it's Tuesday. Today is awesome because I'm remembering to tell you why today is awesome, since I didn't last week and I'm getting punished. But today is also awesome because it's snowing outside. Snow is so pretty. The girls decided that my punishment would be to read you some of my O-Town fan fiction. I wrote these when I was 13 years old. We're just gonna make fun of me as much as possible because they're really funny. Chapter 1. Lexi was a very happy person. She had a family who loved her and a loving boyfriend whom she had been with since she was 13. She was 21 now and very comfortable with her life. She got out of the car in the parking lot and headed up to her favorite store. She was walking up an elevator, a little hurried, and she saw a couple making out in front of her. "Excuse me," she said as the couple broke apart to let her pass. The male half looked at her and Lexi recognized him right away. "Lexi, I can explain." Lexi looked at the blonde, who also looked quite surprised herself. Lexi ran up the escalator, trying to hold back the tears which were uncontrollably rolling down her cheeks. She ran into the bar, sat up on a stool, and ordered herself a drink. A guy was sitting next to her and noticed that she was crying. "I know I don't know you, but are you all right?" "I just saw my boyfriend of 8 years making out with some dumb blonde, but yeah, everything's just fine." Lexi had a very sarcastic sense of humor as her defense mechanism. "I'm sorry," the guy said. Lexi looked up and noticed that he had the deepest and most beautiful blue-green eyes she had ever seen. She also thought that she had seen him somewhere before. "Don't worry about it. Hell, they're my problems," she said, drinking a shot of what tasted like tequila. She didn't care what it was, as long as it had alcohol in it. "I'm Dan, and if you ever need to talk, here's my cell." He handed her a piece of paper. "I want to help, as long as you'll let me." He gave her a kiss on the cheek and left the bar. She ran after him and decided to spend her time with him in case she ran into Mike again. "Now that I think about it, do you want to talk now?" Lexi said while he turned around. "All right, let's go downstairs. I know a place where we can talk." He took her hand and led her downstairs. She wasn't sure she wanted to hold his hand, but she didn't let go because she was too mentally weak at the time to tell him that. He took her to the parking lot and into what looked like a tour bus, but she was a little confused. "Where are we going?" Lexi asked, seeing the bus that looked oddly familiar. "I'm in a band and this is our tour bus. My name is Dan Miller. I'm 22 years old," he said. "Oh, making the band, right? I used to watch that all the time." "Yeah, well, now that you know about me, tell me about you." "I'm Lexi Friedman and I'm 21. I used to be happy with my life, but since about 30 minutes ago, that changed," she said, remembering the events that had happened before, and started to cry again, sobbing uncontrollably, lowering her head. "It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Don't just waste your life away because of one stupid guy," he said. "He wasn't just one stupid guy. He's been my best friend since I was 13, my only boyfriend, the only person I've ever loved." Lexi buried her head in Dan's chest, which was very muscular. "Any guy that does anything to hurt you is stupid. He was too stupid to see what was right in front of him, and any guy who does that to you doesn't deserve you," Dan continued, still stroking her hair. That comment made Lexi feel a lot better. She took her head off of his chest and looked into his eyes. He started to lower his head until their lips almost met, when they heard the door opening and 4 very loud guys thundering onto the bus. "Hey Dan, we couldn't find you," one of them said. He had an afro. "Yeah, we were going to tell him to leave without you," the Latino one joked, high-fiving Dan. Lexi walked in front of Dan, seeing the tall, hot blonde, and running up to him, she hugged him and smiled. "A fan, I'm guessing," Ashley said. Lexi always liked him on the show. Dan looked down. She never even recognized him as himself until he told her. "Guys, this is Lexi. Lexi, this is Eric, Trevor, Jacob, and I'm guessing you know Ashley." Dan was a little disappointed. "I can't do this anymore. I honestly don't think that I have it in me to read any more of this." Okay, whoever comes up doing their video upside down. And you can't just film it right side up and then flip it. You gotta actually do your video upside down. Ready? Kayley, I guess this means we're meeting your parents upside down tomorrow.